be showing you from basic to intermediate, intermediate to advanced. You can use it on the boo-boo, you can use it on the senator, you can use it on the sleeve of your shirt. That means where the cuff will now come in. So this placket is essential for you as a tailor or as a fashion designer. So now this is the neckline, the basic neckline. That's 3x3 neckline. So I want to do a placket that will create an opening here for about 6 inches. So all I need to do on the center part, which I've used the pressing iron to establish, I'll mark this point as 6 inches. So I'm going to be cutting a piece of fabric that will be 10 inch by 6 inches, 10 inches by 6 inches, to be able to teach you how to make this basic placket. For this purpose, I want to use a contrasting fabric so that it will be very distinct for you to see. So on this fabric right now, I'm going to cut out my 6 by 10. So I'm taking my 6 this way and I'll take the 10 this way. I said this is going to be 10. So this is my 10 inches. So for balance, for stability, for neatness, I'm going to be needing an interfacing. That's what is popularly called a gum stay. I'm going to cut the gum stay also exactly the size. So I have my interfacing stabilizer already in position. I'll need the pressing iron. Remember, you iron this on the wrong side of the fabric. So I'll be ironing this. One thing you must understand about tailoring is that your balance line is always very important. That helps you to gain alignment and also precision and balance. So after this ironing, I'm still going to fold my placket piece into 2. So with this, I'm going to get the center point of this fabric. Initially that was 6 inches by 10. So right now it's going to be 3 inches by 10 folded. So like I have my pencil here and my ruler, I'm going to turn into this space, establish my midline, which I've already done, but now bringing it out with the pencil. I'll be needing my tape measure right now to be able to mark that same 6 inches I talked about where I plan to stop. So this is the point. This is the 6 inches point. I hope you can see clearly. Then I'm going to mark out ½ inch away from the center line, another ½ inch away from the center line, ½ inch away from the center line, another one. So I use my ruler to connect this point. As a beginner, this is very necessary. I connect these points. So this is what I have. This is what I have. So now, this is the good side of my fabric. That's the piece where I want to introduce this placket. All I need to do is to turn the wrong side. You can see I have my midline already ironed. So I'm going to place this thing on the midline as a guide. Yes, so this is what I'm going to do. So after this stage, what is next is for us to go to the sewing machine to sew out on this pencil line, notch properly and iron. We are going to use the sewing machine to sew along the pencil line. If you are a beginner, I would advise you pin this so that for alignment purpose, so this don't have to shift off your balance line. See the pencil line and the balance line, I've aligned it, but If you're a beginner, I advise you pin at this point. Use your pin and pin this to put it in place. But I'm going to use my hands in balancing this because of my years of experience. So I sew this way on the line. You don't add to it. You make sure that you are on the line, please. On the line. A little away from the line is not the line, so you have to be on the line for precision. If you do this properly, even without ironing, your placket will fold. What you have to do, you are now going to notch, cutting through the midline. Don't exceed the 6 inches mark you did. Don't cut the thread. Then at an angle of 45, you do to the corners, left and right. Mind you, this is done at the reverse side, that's the back side of the fabric, the wrong side. So we turn this other way. You can see even without pressing, your placket is already giving you a good fold. The advantage of this method is that you can either do left over right or right over left. Yes. So now what I'm going to do now, I'm going to go to the ironing table to fold this edge by half, just this alone. Fold this by half, fold this by half. I'll be right back. Normally, if you're sewing for a male, it is left over right. If you're sewing for a female, it's right over left. So this particular method of placket gives you the opportunity to either do left over right or right over left. So now I'll do this and I'll sew. Mind you, when I'm sewing, I'm going to stop at the 6 inches mark. Remember the 6 inches mark we started with. So I'm going to stop there. So I'm stopping at the 6 inches mark. So let's say I want to, this other one too is coming this way. So you can see I can go over this. Now, if this is coming this way, that I want left over right, this way, this has to go this way. And if you check what is happening here, it will be too bulky. If I'm to do all this together, it will be too bulky. You can see. So now, since I've decided to use this, I'm going to trim the lower one. Since this is the way I want to cover, I'm going to trim this off because at the end of the day, this is what I want to see. We are going to be doing left over right as though we're sewing for a male. Mind you, this can be used for a boo-boo, this can be used for a top, this can be used for a polo. So many outfits there that you need this placket for. So now, since I've done this, I've reduced this out of it. That would have made my sewing very bulky and thick. And you know, when it comes to sewing, what makes you stand out is if your finishing is neat and perfect. So this is what we have. You could just fold this tip this way, or don't worry, in our next video we'll make this lower part not straight, like a pointing arrow, like a triangle lower at the base. So we're going to be sewing this down, making sure that it's in the middle of the center line. Yes, we're almost done. We're almost done. Make sure that this is properly covered because, like I said, neatness is achieved when everything aligns properly. So here we go. You can cross sew it, sew at. So you can see how well our placket came out.